Chelsea Football Club are ninth. Uncomfortable conversations have to be held. Emergency meetings, say what they want, but we need to talk about it. The fans, the board, the directors, the players, but the most important thing is to be open, honest and transparent. The problem is people want to run agenda. I am not Enzo Maresca out. I could easily come here, shout Enzo Maresca out and actively increase my views substantially. Have no thought process between what I'm saying, shout, throw my hands around, and all of a sudden people are going to want to watch me as an entertaining guinea pig. When in reality, I think my football knowledge is decent enough where I can break it down into a good substantial video that you're going to enjoy, learn something from, and more importantly, we break down the news. Maresca gave 3 key talking points after the defeat for Sunderland at Chelsea. Lack of creativity, injury problems, and he spoke about poor defending. We're going to break all 3 down because he's not exempt from criticism. But what I need from you lot is, in the comments below, let me know, what do you think the biggest controllable issue is? Secondly, hit that like button. Thirdly, subscribe to the channel. Let's break this down. Let's be honest and transparent. I intentionally left this till the end of the day where I'm calm. I woke up pissed off. I woke up angry. I woke up frustrated. I woke up like I wanted to rip someone's head off. Genuinely, this defeat to Sunderland really hurt. And it frustrated me and we need to break it. Enzo Maresca needs to learn to control the controllables. When I was younger, my dad always used to tell me, I'd be like, if I ever got in trouble in school, he would say to me, what did you do? And I would always lead off without fail. Oh, this happened, but this person, he's like, no, I want to know what you did. I want to see what your controllables were. And in this case, we need to understand what are Enzo Maresca's controllables. What he said after the game about Toussaint was very interesting. He said, the defense should have defended the final goal better. We should have been tighter, more aggressive. We didn't do it and we got punished. Big man, can you control the controllable? Can you control the controllable? The controllable in this situation is, why did you bring on Toussaint? Joshua Champong was having a brilliant game. Chalobah was having a decent game. You bring on Toussaint, and the theme that we are starting to notice, whenever you put someone with Toussaint, the ball goes over the top, he is slow to recover, and he's absolutely getting slabbed. Why did you bring him on? If there's an injury, tell us. Secondly, journalism. At what point do journalists not ask questions about the game? If this was the NBA, and if this was the Boston Celtics, if Joe Mazzulla made a mistake that everyone asked, by the time he sat down at the podium, there would have been 15 questions worded differently about the same thing. Why did you make the substitution? In the NBA, there was so many questions about, in the third quarter at this minute, you didn't do this. Why? Why is it in football journalists don't do this? Why was the question not directly asked? Why did you take off Joshua Champong and bring on Toussaint? Because that was a pivotal moment. And I know exactly what you would have said. I brought him on for line-breaking passes. Big man, we don't need him to do line-breaking passes. I need him to defend primarily. Because that's what cost you the game at the end. I think this myth that Josh can't pass is literally that. It's a myth. It is something people have got into their head now. And when they see him give the ball away once, it's confirmation bias. I told you, he can't pass the ball. He's a very good ball playing centre half. He is very good at carrying the ball out of the defence. He is very good on the recovery. He is decent in the air. And he is young and getting better. I can live with him making mistakes. So when Maresca comes out and says, oh, we should have been better on the defensive, broski, control the controllable. If you didn't bring him on, we would have never had this problem. And the same goes to Chalobah, by the way. Chalobah was playing against us yesterday as well. Had a terrible day at the office. Absolutely terrible day at the office. I don't understand why Fofana was on the bench and Fofana didn't come on. Is this a token? You're on the bench? Is he not fit? We need to know. And this is where my mind goes, because the questions are not being asked for him to confirm. Enzo Maresca also went on to talk about the creativity and said the creativity wasn't good enough. We didn't do enough. The only time we created something properly was for our goal. And he said we were too dependent on putting crosses into the box. And this is where I need to start giving some facts about the game. Then I'll give you my opinion. Facts. 4 chances were created for Chelsea. The Garnacho goal. The second Garnacho chance off a flick off from a corner wasn't in open play. The Cucurella chance in the first half where the ball went to him and the shot was rigorously blocked. And then the Estevao chance from a cutback that would drop to him. He isolated the player one-on-one, opened it up, good block. 4 chances. That's not enough. Chelsea Football Club at home against Sunderland, where Sunderland give up the ball and you have 70% of the ball, you should be creating more. That's the first thing. Secondly, we don't have a massive creativity issue. The league has a creativity issue. Chelsea have scored 17 goals. For those of you that don't know, that is joint top in the Premier League. Manchester City and Chelsea have scored the most goals. I think Arsenal are third with 16. Chelsea by no means after 19 games are this wonderful goal scoring team. It's a lie. Right? We don't create enough chances, so I agree with Enzo. However, Enzo, you need to control the controllables, right? We're going back to my dad again. Control the controllables. What do you do to enable us to control the controllables to the point where we are creating chances? I believe we have the handbrake on once we go 1-0 up. I believe when you play Neto and Garnacho against low blocks, two players that flourish with space in behind, two players that flourish with the ability to pick up the ball and carry it in acres of space by knocking it forward and running aggressive, that's when you get the best out of them. Gittins, who I do not rate, I think is better against low blocks. His ability to create a little bit of separation, take pot shots, had the best game he's had in the Chelsea top against Ajax. What is his reward? You don't get brought on until there's 5, 6, 7 minutes left. Estevao had arguably his best game in the Chelsea top. What is his reward? You're on the bench for Pedro Neto and Garnacho. You need to build some consistency. You need to be able to give players more minutes that are creatively better against low blocks, more time. Do not play the Duracell bunny players when you can have magicians. I do not need Dash from The Incredibles when I need Harry Potter. I'm sorry. It is absolutely ludicrous for him to come out and moan about it. Furthermore, I need to ask a question. If Enzo's in a double pivot, why is Cucurella in the false 9 position, basically? I know he's pushing in, he's inverted. Why is Cuckoo consistently in the final third? And this is where I get really frustrated, because I'm going to say something and it's going to drop some wisdom on all of you. If this wasn't Chelsea, if this wasn't Chelsea Football Club, and I told you this club has Mark Guiu, Pedro Neto, Garnacho up top, where do you think this team's most likely going to finish? I would say 10th, 11th, 12th. Why does it surprise you that we're 9th? And then, matter of fact, why does it surprise you that lack of leadership in this team ends up in the forward line delegating to Caicedo, Enzo, James and Cuckoo? And people will say, Alex, what are you talking about? I'll explain. Number one, Cucurella is our biggest threat all the time, right? Crosses come in, he's trying to get his head on the ball, he is taking responsibility. Reece James is one of our best creative outlets. That's your right back and your left back. That can't be right. That can't be right in any world. That can't be right in any book. That can't be right in any comic book. That can't be right in any series. Your right back and your left back cannot be your biggest threats. Enzo and Caicedo are our next biggest goal threats. They've scored the most goals this year for us. They take shots from outside of the box. They're crashing the box. They're actively trying to do something. How can your best threat be your defensive midfielder, your left back, your right back, and your centre mid? Your forwards need to be your biggest threat. Control your controllables. Do not play the road runners. Do not play Dash and Dash squared. Put Harry Potter on. Give me some magic. We don't do that. Joao Pedro, we're going to get onto him now because this is excuse-centric. Enzo Maresca came out and he wanted to talk about one of the reasons why Joao Pedro's form has deteriorated, and he gave us some context. He said, Joao Pedro's training every now and then. He can't train consistently, he's injured. Moises Caicedo can't train consistently, he's injured. Enzo Fernandez can't play consistently, he is injured. The question here is, why are they playing then? Answer the question, why are they playing? Listen, if Enzo Fernandez is injured, Andre Santos should be starting. If Caicedo is injured, Romeo Lavia is there. Use him. Use him. I don't want to hear excuses after. Joao Pedro. You know, a lot of people are going to say, oh, but Joao Pedro's injured, and if he doesn't play, you've got Buonanotte. They gave you Buonanotte. Use Buonanotte. If Buonanotte's not good enough and results go badly, you tell him, you gave me Buonanotte. You've got Gittins, you've got Estevao. Put Estevao in a 10. Why are you using players that are injured? All it does is it actively makes their recovery hindered, which extends their injury long term, which essentially means they're going to be fatigued, tired, and lackluster for a longer period of time and hurt. The other key thing here is that you can't ignore. The team in the second half looked exhausted. It needed a refreshment. The goal was not coming. The minute it hit 60 minutes and Cucurella fell, I think it was 60 to 70 minutes. I looked at the clock and I was like, the goal ain't coming. Something needs to change. And Sunderland brought on players. Our attacking outlets are Delap and Palmer, and they're not fit. This needs to change moving forward. We need to get more players back. And the problem is, we are exhausted, we are tired, and we are fatigued. And people are pointing at the Club World Cup, but I watched Arsenal today. Arsenal didn't look sharp. Saka does not look like himself. The teams that we have do not look like, in the league, do not all look like themselves. A lot of the players are tired. The difference is Arsenal keep clean sheets, and once they score one, you can absolutely tell that these lot are not going to give in another chance. We need to do better, man. I'm sorry. From every point of view, right? Chelsea Football Club need to improve. What needs to happen now is we've got Wolves. We need to beat Wolves, get through to the next round of the EFL Cup. The next 2 games in the league before the international break. Burnley and Spurs. If you do not win those games, we're in big trouble. Being 9th at the moment is daunting. It is. It really is daunting. But the optics of not beating Spurs and finishing on game week 10 outside of the top 10, because that's what could happen, it will be so damning. It will be ludicrous. It will be so damaging to everything we built in the second half of the season. It doesn't matter if the points, we are like 4 points from second. It doesn't matter. It's a fake second, because Arsenal at the moment are clearly one of the best teams in the league, if not the best. It is going to hurt us. Listen, I broke this down in a nice, calm, composed way. I also spoke about the game yesterday in great detail, and I think it was a good reflection of the game. If you want to go check that out, the video is here. Check it out. Let me know your thoughts, because I think this we need to handle as a community. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, go watch more Kavkas View. Peace out, I'm out. Bye.